I am here focusing all the power of Sinaju, and I am going to determine how many choices you will match on. Five matches. Ha ha ha. Oh, this is Rick. I'll talk to you later. Bye. Three? I practice in Jutsu, and all I get is a lousy 3 matches? Are you kidding me? This is what I get for sending away for a 25-cent how-to manual. Stupid manual. I'll karate chop you.
My name is Dacre Stoker. I'm the great-grandnephew of Bram Stoker. He's the author of Dracula. I'm the author of Dracul, along with J.D. Barker. You're listening to Horror Film Face-Off.
The Longbox Crusade presents an action film face-off holiday special. Horror film face-off. In this episode, it's 1975 versus 2021.
2 scary films enter.
1 scary film leaves.
2 men enter. 1 man leaves. 2 men enter. 1 man leaves. 2 men enter. 1 man
But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. Now, if you know what you're worth, then go out and get what you're worth. But you gotta be willing to take the hits.
Welcome back to Horror Film Face-Off, episode of Action Film Face-Off. This is a show where 2 random years are selected. My brother will bring a horror film from one of the random years. I will bring a horror film from the other random year. Those 2 films will do battle using a variety of criteria, and a champion will be crowned by the end of the episode. I am Jared Aldrich, the most deathly of all death probes this time of year. My co-host is my brother Jason, the Weasel Skull, the most sculliest of all the skulls this time of year. We are both military combat vets who were once trapped in a sewer with a rat man, and we take our actions seriously, but not too seriously, so let's have some fun. This is Halloween time, so I hope you're listening. I know Pat drops this on actually the 31st of October. So happy Halloween if you're listening to this on the day it dropped. Hope you get some good candy.
Well, yes, indeed. We're going to score each of today's films on a scale of 1 to 10 in 5 categories. Those categories are the story, the overall spectacle, the best horror scene, the hero, and the villain. It's still not in that order. We're not going to clean it up just because it's a holiday special. We don't put on airs here in action film face-off land, nor horror film face-off land. So just get used to it, I guess. But we will still have the deduction round at the end for up to 10 points where we can subtract up to 10 points from the film's total for whatever we determine is the low point of the movie Hell Raatma.
All right. Oh, thank you, Jason. And now it's time to introduce our spooky sniper. Sniper has 1 point to give in each category, so the sniper can sway the scoring a total of 5 points, which on certain episodes has mattered a lot. Let's meet our sniper from this episode. It is Aaron Moss. Whoa, wait, no, it's not Aaron this year. We love having Aaron on for Horror Film Face-Off, but the fact of the matter is we have a Crusaders Club member who actually, sends us money. So, Aaron, if you're listening, you got it. All right. Patreon.com.
We're turning into that candy corn for some Snickers.
Oh, Aaron became candy corn. No. Patreon.com/Longbox Crusade, Aaron. All right. So let's go to our long-standing friend of the show and supporter of the network. It is our friend Serpy Matt, a.k.a. Matt Passo. Welcome to Action Film Face-Off, or Horror Film Face-Off, Matt.
This I command.
Thank you for having me, guys, and hail Raatma.
Good old Raatma. Raatma Amadeus. All right. Matt.
Squeak, squeak, squeak.
I knew Jason would have something. I knew he would. Matt, you, by the way, are a horror film aficionado, which is the other reason you got brought on for this episode. Like, you are a horror film guy. And I don't know if you had a chance to peek at our script to see the question I have for you beforehand, but you're nodding. Looks like you're prepared. You're a prepared kind of guy. Matt, use your horror film knowledge to let our listeners know what are your 3 favorite horror anthology films, because both our films tonight are anthology films. So what would you recommend to the listening audience as your top 3?
There's quite a few good anthologies out there when we look at the world of horror. And you're going to see a lot of people saying some of the same old ones.
Creepshow.
That is not one of my 3. But
I figured it was one of the same old ones you just... What did you say, Jason?
Twilight Zone.
Is there a movie? Yeah, there was a Twilight Zone movie.
Oh,
but that's not on my list.
It had a rough production.
Tales from the Hood.
Oh, Tales from the Hood.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah, that's good.
So good. I rewatched it this last weekend. It held up. Trick or Treat.
Oh, I saw that one. Yeah, it was good.
And actually, one you may or may not have seen, it was like from 2015. So you probably haven't seen it since it was in a year that started with 2.
Yeah, I know.
Tales of Halloween.
You made that up.
I don't know that one.
It's actually really phenomenal because all the stories take place in one neighborhood on Halloween night. So you have a ton of different stories about all the little different houses along the route.
That's neat. All right. You heard it here, folks. This is a good list. This is I was about to say a guy who's well-versed in horror. I wouldn't recommend anything terrible to you, but there was that one time, Matt. It was a found footage experience that Matt sent my way.
Found footage did I see?
You sent me one I think it was for Best Under 5, so it's supposed to not be a highly regarded film.
Oh, no, I sent you The Fear.
No, The Fear was great, but you sent me a found footage movie. They were in like Louisiana, goes hunting.
The St. Francisville Experiment.
Yeah, that one, and I hate you forever. All right.
That's okay, man. You asked for under 5. I gave you under 5.
I brought it on myself. All right, so that's Best Under 5 with me and Chris. You can usually catch that the first Sunday of every month, as long as our schedules are free, at 3:30 p.m. Central on our YouTube channel. So join us there, or if you miss it, we release it in podcast form too. But enough of the plugs. Before we enter our Videodome arena, we are thrilled to kick off this episode with special shout outs to our Crusaders Club members. These are the fine folks who have joined our crusade to get early access to special Longbox episodes, voting on show content, priority seating to be guests, so much more. These are the folks reaping the benefits and giving so much appreciated support to the show.
Alan W. right into a vat of acid.
Angelica Werewolf.
Albert Elvis rises from the grave.
Bill Paul Beer.
Billy D. And the D stands for death.
Bradley Deathlow.
Braxton 6 Feet Underwood.
Harry, covered in pig blood.
Clinton Grave Robertson.
Captain Entrails P.
Comic foil, wrapped candy. It's the worst because you don't know what's going to be in there.
It's like popcorn.
Mm-hmm.
Apple. Anyway, After Dark, Clark Westfield.
Dave Collins, Meat Wagon.
Eric, Dark Cleric Hodges.
Eric, Derelict Porter.
Ezra Gallo, Rooster of Death. Cock-a-doodle-doo.
Gary V. And the V stands for Vampire.
Gene Hendrips Blood.
George Meal of Brains.
Harold Gangrene.
Heinz K. And the K stands for Killer.
Django Beheaded.
Jason is keen to stab you.
Jason, Lady in White.
Jeff Pole through the Chustier.
It's way better the second time.
Jim Head in a Jarman. Jim Head in a Jarman. I hope you like Jim Head in a Jarman too.
Wow, that was good.
Jim Meal of Brains. He went for seconds.
Got another Wolfman. Joe Wolfman Conan.
Joe Thomas, a.k.a. Joe October right now.
John Watts, son of Frankenstein.
Josh Strickland, principal of pain for those slackers.
Candace Insanity Ward.
Decapitated Kathy Bright, the DOA.
Mad Lissy Poison.
Mark of the Beast Ross.
Murderous Michael Minton.
Miranda W. And the W stands for witchcraft.
PD Devons. And the PD probably stands for probably dead.
Rick, from Jeff and Rick present Jeff's dead body.
Rotten Ronald Easterday.
Rotting Rob Morgan.
Sean Urban skinned alive.
Poisonous Snake Plissken.
Spidey 67 Ways to Die, a.k.a. Ronnie the Ghost.
Spreadsheet over the corpse.
Steve Cronin the Woods.
Crone, like C-R-O-N. It's very clever, actually.
I see. I get it. Yeah. Steve Crone in the Woods. Got it.
Strangle Steve Martin.
Tim Vincent Price.
Tony Penheadington.
and Toronto Wolf Cop.
Ow.
If we missed anyone on our list, we apologize. Please keep in mind we record these episodes well in advance of release. So if you're a recent edition, we will add you soon. But no worries. You can let us know we missed you by sending an email to contact@longboxcrusade.com. We'll get it straightened out. Might be asking yourself, how do I become a Crusaders Club member? Simple. Go to patreon.com/longboxcrusade for as little as $1 a month. You can buy like 6-7 pounds of circus peanuts for that, I think. You'll get access to the amazing world of the Crusaders Club. Come and check it out.
Well, now that Jared's lips have stopped beating, we can get to the trick-or-treating and get back to the combat and learn a bit about the film frighteners about to battle for your pleasure.
On this episode, I was assigned the year of 1975, so I selected Trilogy of Terror. What year did the randomizer select for you, Jason?
Well, mine was a little more contemporary. I got 2021, so I'm putting into our Videodome arena VHS 94.
We have got a fine and frightening matchup for this one, folks. It's important to point out this isn't Jared versus Jason versus Freddy versus Ash. We each had to select from our assigned year, so I might very well like his selection better than mine or vice versa. This is about us discussing some beloved horror films and coming to a consensus on which one is this episode's champion. It is time to do an around the room on where we saw it. Trilogy of Terror was recommended to me by several people about a year ago, maybe almost 2 years ago now. I, on a whim, posted on X. I was like, hey, recommend me your favorite made-for-TV horror film, and if I pick yours, I'll have you on the live stream. We'll talk about it. And a lot of people suggested Gargoyles, and I ended up picking Gargoyles. It had Bernie Casey, which is an automatic win for me. But a lot of people recommended Trilogy of Terror, so it's been on my radar for a long time. I found the DVD, ripped it to my Plex box. That's how I saw it. It's probably the longest explanation of where we saw it. VHS 94, I just, it's on my Plex. Jason?
For Trilogy of Terror, got it off of Tubi, free with ads. And then for VHS 94, I rented it for like $3.99 from the Apple Store.
Nice. Matt, how'd you do these movies?
For Trilogy of Terror, I also watched it on Tubi, and then I rewatched it on YouTube. I watched them all twice. I've seen VHS 94 more than twice because I've seen it before. Mm-hmm. And I watched VHS 94 on Shudder.
Oh, yeah. It was like a Shudder original, I think I saw in the credits. Yeah.
Yeah, it was one of the first ones that they brought back with the anthology.
Nice. Okay. All right. All right, folks. This is your spoiler warning. From here on in, spoilers are active. So prepare accordingly. See you on the other side of the musical break. Okay, folks, let me jump in with some quick info on 1975's Trilogy of Terror. Normally, we'd play a promo or a trailer here, but I just couldn't find one, so back to the show. All right, your cast and crew is as follows. It stars Karen Black, and Karen Black. It was directed by Dan Curtis. Synopsis goes a little something like this. This anthology has 3 stories, all starring Karen Black. In the first one, Julie, she plays a meek college professor who has a student that has become obsessed with her in a less than healthy way. And in true terror, he gets his way with her. Or does he? In the second part, Millicent and Therese. Karen plays a prim and proper woman who is sharing her inheritance with her devil-may-care oversexed sister and is driving her crazy. So she decides to eliminate her sister, which could prove to be a problem. The third and final story, Amelia, has Karen in the possession of an African Zuni fetish doll that comes to life and tries to kill her, Chucky style. Here is your trivia. During the Julie segment, a drive-in theater can be seen showing the film The Night Stalker from 1972. This is an in-joke because it was also directed by Dan Curtis. And oh, by the way, it's a heck of a good one. Item number 2. When the film was first shown on Brazilian television in March of 1981, strict censorship regulations in Brazil at the time demanded that the third segment, Amelia, be completely cut. Because of this, the TV station that released it was forced to change its title in Portuguese to Duas Histórias de Terror, or 2 horror stories. Can't call it Trilogy of Terror if you don't show all 3. Third and final. The idea of Amelia grinning and showing fang-like teeth similar to those in the Zuni fetish doll in the final and arguably most frightening image of the entire film actually came from Karen Black herself. She actually had a couple of inputs on that one, by the way, that I think really enhanced it. But there you have it. Those are your three. And just as a reminder for everybody, in case you didn't figure this out, this was a made-for-TV, I mentioned it earlier, anthology horror thing. So it's kind of fascinating to put your mind in that. But over to Jason.
All right. Thank you, Jared. Now I will give you the rundown on 2021's VHS 94.
Police, search warrant! Police, search warrant!
Do not touch anything.
Could be no one left alive in here.
Do I just press the button?
Press the red button.
Just press it.
I assume they're paying extra for this.
Yes.
This is a remarkable story.
Hello? Hello?
Holly? Technology, the Veggie Masher turns your vegetables into a tasty, mouth-watering paste.
All are welcome.
The cast and crew included Anna Hopkins, Christian Potenza, and Brian Paul. So it had an ensemble of directors: Simon Barrett, Stephen Kostansky, Chloe Okuno, Ryan Prowse, Jennifer Reeder, and Timo Gidanto. Synopsis goes a little something like this. An elite team of police officers raid a suspected drug warehouse only to find a murdering, television-obsessed cult, and as they descend into madness, the team encounters 4 horrifying stories, each weirder than the last. In Storm Drain, a pair of reporters journey into the belly of their community sewer system to discover a cult of rat-worshipping homeless and their god. In Wake, we spend the night with a lone woman in a funeral home during a storm with a corpse that might not be all dead, just mostly dead. In The Subject, a mad scientist succeeds in blending the flesh of his kidnapped subjects with modern technology and weaponry to horrific results. And in Terror, a homegrown terrorist cell plans an attack on a government facility using a bioweapon that's also a vampire. The movie wraps up in a final act of vengeance and violence as 2 of the police officers reveal themselves to be cult members and dish out the coup de grace. Mom was right. Too much television is bad for the eyes.
Mm-hmm.
All right, my trivia. There's only a few things, but they're kind of interesting. The first nugget is the amateur sketch of the Raatman was based on an actual 2007 sketch when an Alabama resident claimed to see a leprechaun.
It's the Mobile leprechaun. It's very famous where I live.
I knew you would.
And if you've ever seen that sketch, it's so much funnier now that I realize that that's why they did it. That's hilarious.
I knew you'd appreciate it. Although the movie was set in 1994, there's graffiti in the tunnel that clearly displays the year 2018. And finally, if you read the copyright notice at the end of the film, it warns, don't make us unleash the Raatma. Yep.
I do have a couple little interesting trivia for
Kathy,
VHS.
welcome back to
Oh,
the show.
the spirit of Kathy. Kathy, can you hear me? Kathy.
It's a modern movie. The way they got some of the vintage effects. Vintage. Oh, God, that feels bad to say 90s is vintage. But they actually recorded it on digital, transferred it to tape, ran it multiple times to wear it down, and then put it back on digital to get the effect as opposed to just post.
Oh,
That's cool.
like editing, like they really ran it through a VCR. That's cool.
Yeah. And then one thing that you guys would have loved from one of the deleted scenes. Okay, I'm 90% sure you'd love it. In the news anchor scenes, they had a review for Time Cop.
Yes.
Oh,
Which
yes.
I don't know if I'm bringing this up too early, but the commercial for the Veggie Smasher was outstanding.
Yes.
Yeah.
It felt very RoboCop. You know how like RoboCop would have those
Mhm.
crazy ass commercials.
That's right.
That was all I
Anyways.
had. I had to tell you guys about the time cop mentioned deleted scene.
That is fantastic.
And now that we have the basics on today's contestants,
Ladies and gentlemen, test your might. Let's get ready to It's a street fight.
Oh, here we go. It's spooky time. Now, before we get started, let's talk about the game within the game. We got 2 movies, 5 categories. Jason's not seen my scores. I have not seen his. We can match up to 10 possible times. So place your bets now. Matt, live bet.
This is a tough one. I'm not even going that high. My problem is I'm a sicko.
No,
I love the horror. I don't think you guys are as sick as me. So I think there's definitely not. But there's going to be 4 matches. I'll say 4.
Okay, 4 matches. All right. Speaking of scoring, let's get your barometer set. If we give it a 5, that means it's okay. It's decent. Seen on a good, made-for-TV movie on a rainy Sunday night back in 1992. But if you get 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, you got a pretty good flick. If you got 4, 3, 2, 1, you got things to work on. And with that, this one's going to be a little interesting because they're all anthologies. So just, ride the ride with us, folks, and we'll get through it as best we can. We're going to get to round 1, which is story, or in this case, maybe stories.
Whatever you do, don't fall asleep.
How engaging or original was the set of stories from these films? We will start with Matt in 1975. What are your thoughts on the Trilogy of Terror, on that set of stories?
When I look at the overall stories of like Trilogy of Terror, because each is their own individual story, I can't really look at them as a group.
Mm-hmm.
So I enjoyed them, but they didn't give me too much that I hadn't seen before. Maybe if I would have seen it back in the 70s when it first came out, it might have been a little new.
Well, 75 made for TV, I can imagine it could be pretty tame for a horror guy like you.
Yeah, it kind of is. It had like some good thriller elements, but I could almost see some of the twists coming, and it made me wonder, because I've seen films from back then, and you can't always see the twist, and I made me wonder, was it just because it was a made-for-TV movie, or was it because it was a Dan Simmons Dark Shadows kind of feel to it?
So listen, hey, Matt, I'm going to call a spade a spade. Twist in story 1 actually got me pretty good. 2,
Me
saw it
too.
a mile away.
Same.
Okay,
Saw it a mile away. But I will give it props for doing excellent execution. Like her portrayals of the 2 roles were fantastic. But I saw it coming a mile away.
Yeah, she did a wonderful job playing both sisters.
We told you there'd be spoilers, listeners.
Surprise.
Surprise.
Yeah, story-wise, the first 3 were okay. I think I probably would have enjoyed them a little more if they were all from different authors, even though I have nothing against Richard Matheson. He has some great stories out there. They all felt a little too similar to me.
Okay. Not enough variety. Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. All right, Jason, what do you think of the Trilogy of Terror?
Let's lay it out here. Just go ahead and say it. Like, your pick was like a scalpel, like doing work with a scalpel, and mine was like firing up a chainsaw and going to work. Like, so this is kind of the barometer. And so when I'm looking at yours, I agree with a lot of what Matt said and what you've talked about. First story, the Julie story, it got me.
Yeah, got me too.
I went from like, what a dirtbag. Oh, how is she going to get out of this? And then like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, I went from being disgusted with it to like, oh my.
Yeah. And then it took me on a roller coaster because I was really disgusted with it. I was like, how is this going to play out? I didn't know if her roommate was going to like come to her rescue and reveal herself to be like some sort of witch or something. I wasn't sure where it was going. And so emotionally, I went from feeling revolted by that guy to kind of sorry for that guy. And then like, not sorry at all for that guy. I'm like, but then worried about the guy, the next guy that came through that door. So
what did that guy do?
So from a storytelling perspective, for me anyway, that was very effective. Second story, that was Millicent and Teresa. Like you, Jared, like I saw it a mile away, so much so that I was wondering, like, am I not supposed to know that these two are the same. It was definitely the weakest of the two for me. And yet I did, like you, Jared, I did appreciate the range of acting that Karen Black demonstrated. We'll talk a little bit more about that when we get into Hero. The pièce de résistance was the third one, Amelia. When I saw that, I was like, I remember that one from my childhood. I think I saw this thing when I was way, way too young.
You would have been 4 on the broadcast.
Yeah. And I may have been older because, they back in the day, they showed them like around this time of year regularly. But I remember that one and remember it scaring the heck out of me. And that I'm really glad you brought that up, that was Karen Black's idea with her, with that grinning with that set of teeth and that movement with the knife. Oh man, I'm getting chills still right now thinking of it. When I saw that, there was like 6-year-old Jason going, it touched on something. So third one for me was the best.
You and our friend Captivating Kathy Bright, the MVP, who's a regular on the show, have this in common because you guys are about the same age. And she asked me, she was like, or was she on the last one we picked? I can't remember. But I think she asked me, what are you guys covering? I said, Trilogy of Terror. She looked it up and she was like, I remember that creepy doll one in the teeth. And she was like, that is scary as all get out. So you are not alone, sir. Your memories are in lockstep with hers. All right. Well, we need to switch gears and talk about the other film, VHS 94, and its series of stories. Back to you, Matt.
The one thing that I appreciated with VHS 94 or Trilogy of Terror is all the stories kind of blended together. It had like a start and an end that pieced all the stories through to it. It made it feel kind of more like an old creep show type thing where you have the stories that are being told to you and tie together a little bit. Man, you could dive into each one of the stories in VHS 94 and really pick them apart. For me, when looking up, you see what some of the directors were influenced by, and then you go, oh yeah, I can see that.
Oh, okay. I'm interested to hear this. What do you got?
So like for Holy Hell, the SWAT team pieces that played in between at the end, the director were influenced by Videodrome and watching Heaven's Gate cult documentaries.
Videodrome, I get. The cult documentary thing is weird, but okay.
And I'm like, okay. And then Storm Drain with the Hell Raatma.
Clearly influenced by 1990s Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
100% no. They actually were inspired by Rec, the single cam found footage. And I'm like,
we've covered Rec on this show, I think, Jason. I think it was last year.
Yeah, that was my pick last year, I think.
They're classics. Those are the only ones that I saw like they're inspired by. But Empty Wake was pretty cool. My favorite though was The Subject.
Same.
I was watching it. I was on the tram watching. I was just like, this is RoboCop meets Frankenstein's Army, and I am in love.
Yep, that's exactly what I thought, by the way, and it felt video game influence to me.
Yes.
It reminded me of there was a movie called Hardcore Henry that nobody watched, but
I need to watch that.
I've seen it. I got you. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
And then, then you have The Terror with like vampire bombs. Sold.
Yeah,
like,
how can you go wrong, really?
You can't. So the stories, each of them stand pretty well on their own, but I appreciate how they made them all tie together just a little bit at a time.
Interestingly enough, Matt, I'm be the party pooper. I thought it was a weak tie together. I kind of would have preferred, I think, just a series of stories. At the end, I was like, okay, that's the tie together. I was a little sad about it. I was like, okay.
Well, that's okay.
I guess. I mean, it wasn't awful, but I just felt a little unfulfilled. But what I want you to be thinking about, Matt, because I'm going to come back to you, and I'm going to come back to Jason as well. We're going to add a little extra. This might go a little long for the Halloween special. I would really love us all to rank the stories of the two. So be thinking about that. But let's get Jason's thoughts on VHS 94.
Well, Matt said a lot of what I was thinking. I did appreciate how they at least tried to tie the story together. I kind of went in with low expectations on this when I saw was it Blumhouse? Was that Blumhouse Productions?
I think it was.
I'm not a horror guy, so I've never watched any of those films. And in my mind, I thought, oh, these are all going to be like cheesy, like B kind of mediocre type films. There was a lot of effort put into this. There was a lot of love, a lot of passion, and you could feel it just through the performances, the direction, the creative style. Did it all work? No. But boy, I really enjoy it when you get the sense that they're loving what they do and they're having fun with it. And that was infectious to me. So I forgive a lot of the flaws in there. They were 4 good stories, and they were all kind of different flavors too. Because if you look at like Wake, that was a slow burn, man. Almost too slow of a burn for me. I appreciate what they were doing there. When you compare that to The Subject, that was almost like the Raid horror style there. So it was interesting that you have a lot of different flavors, a lot of different directors, but everybody having a good time. So I liked it.
They kind of give you the calm before the storm.
Yes.
Literally. In that case.
Yeah.
Echo pretty much everything you guys said about VHS 94. Like, my favorite thing about it was what Jason mentioned, and Matt, you may have mentioned it too, forgive me, but just they were clearly having fun. They were having fun with this. Like, everyone was sort of, you could tell that each director was given their spot, and everybody had fun. I'm going to go ahead and rank mine.
Hold on. You guys keep saying 4. There were 5.
I don't count the
I didn't either.
One. It wasn't good enough for me to count.
Okay, so you're not wanting to, when we count, we're not going to count.
You can do it however you want. But if we're going to use that one, I'm going to put the one that links them all together at 5. Not impressed. I'm going to put the Vampire Bomb one at 4. At 3, I'm going to go with the Rat Story. At 2, I'm going to go with the Wake. And at 1, RoboCop on Acid. That's how I'm going to rank those. And while I'm here on the mic, I'm going to go number 3 for Trilogy of Terror. Coming in last place, we're going to go with the Millicent and Therese. Number 2 is going to be the first one with the college professor. And then number 1 is going to be the Zuni fetish doll at the end. Let's hear from Jason.
Okay, so starting with VHS 94, I'm with you. The overall story, I think that was that something called Sweet Hell or something?
Holy Hell.
Holy Hell. Okay. So Holy Hell to me was number 5. Number 4, I'm going to go with Storm Drain. Number 3 for me was The Wake. Number 2 was Terror. Number 1 was The Subject. And then with the Trilogy of Terror, I'm going to go Millicent and Teresa was number 3. Julie was number 2. And Amelia was number 1.
Okay. For me, for VHS 94, they were all good, but for 5, I'm going to have to say The Empty Wake. Not saying I didn't like it, but out of the group.
Man, I really liked that one a lot.
I liked all of them.
That's all right. That's all right.
Hold on. I want to tell you the God's honest truth. When you asked me my 3 favorite anthology movies, 94 would have been one of them.
Oh,
but I didn't feel fair.
Yeah, because we're
putting it there.
No, I understand.
Yes. So 5 would have been The Empty Wake.
It's wrong, but proceed.
4 would have been Holy Hell. 3 would have been The Terror. 2 would be Storm Drain, Hell Raatma. And number 1, definitely The Subject. I would watch a whole movie of that.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome. I mean, this is action film face-off too, so it's action film face-off horror film. It's like when we watch Frankenstein's Army. It fits.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Yes. And then for Trilogy of Terror, number 3 was obviously Millicent and Therese. But this is where I kind of break with you guys a little bit. Like, for me, 2, I would put Amelia as number 2 because you knew it was coming. You know it was happening.
Sure.
For me, I would put Julie as number 1 just because of that twist that happens in it.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it was the most surprising of the stories, certainly.
And I think out of Trilogy of Terror, watching it, I may have liked the movie a little more overall if they wouldn't have started strong with the twist and then, to me, dipped really far down with something that I could see coming for part 2. And then part 3, I already knew it was coming.
Okay. I'm just now realizing I could have saved Jason a whole headache if we just used these as our scenes at the end for that. Let's go. Like, each story has its own scene.
We'll get there.
All right. Let's score these things. I wish I'd thought of that about 30 minutes ago. let's score these things. Jason, Trilogy of Terror, 1 to 10. What are you giving the power of the storytelling there?
Well, since it was literally a made-for-television movie, it was top-notch television movie. I'm giving it a 7.
Match game number 1. We're off to the races. I also gave it a 7. VHS 94.
Again, not exactly flawless. Didn't necessarily stick the landing for me, but still a solid effort. I gave it a 7 as well.
Match game number 2. Also gave it a 7. And I heard your voice, CJ. Two very different 7s, but 7s nonetheless. All right.
Yep.
I think I know what's going to happen here, but Matt, make it official. Which of these are you going to place your sniper bullet or your candy corn or whatever you want to call it for the special Halloween episode?
I am handing the SWAT team another bullet to fire at one of the Swiss sisters.
So that's
VHS 94 gets that sniper bullet.
Okay, not the sisters of Millicent and All right, that's it. That's round 1. That was a long round 1, but you know what? Happy Halloween, everybody.
You want to know what happens to an eyeball when it gets punctured?
All right. I'm not exactly sure how we're going to get through this round 2.
We are going to make this up.
With the hero, but we're going to do the best we can. So, and we're going to start with Matt, and we're going to talk about Trilogy of Terror. And, how do you want to break this down? The protagonist from the 3 stories, just Karen Black overall in her role.
Is she a hero?
Well, oftentimes with these kind of movies, we kind of have to use protagonist.
Yeah, we're calling protagonist because, cool.
Not a lot of heroes in any of these stories.
Okay. Wow.
I mean, like robot chick from the. Anyway, let's.
Robots are the heroes. So, for Trilogy of Terror, the protagonist, it's Karen Black. So when we look at each of those, this is what kills me about her being the same actress in every story. I have nothing against Karen Black. I think I would have been more invested if they'd given me a different actress every time, because I just went, it's Karen Black again. Ooh, what's Karen Black doing this time? As opposed to looking at the character she's playing. That being said, the character of Julie, you were so worried for her.
Yes.
She's the victim. And then, oh no, that ancient college student is going down. In Millicent and Therese, the school mom sister or the 70s psychedelic sister.
Both were annoying.
That's kind of what we got going on there. And then Amelia, you kind of felt for her as the hero trying to escape the little doll, trying to get away, protect herself. She was tough with that. She held her own for quite a while. So, yeah, I would say she holds her own as a protagonist in that one.
Yeah, no, I agree with everything you said. I will add on with Amelia. I thought there was an interesting symbology to her being trapped in that apartment with that doll, that relentless doll, and trapped on the phone with her mother who won't let her go. So that was an interesting parallel there that I thought added a complex dynamic. But we'll pass it over to Jared and see what he can put together with these 3 films. Protagonist, Karen Black, what are your thoughts?
I'm going to be honest with you. My score is really going to be based on Karen Black and her performances. And I think when I look at it through that lens, she did really well. I mean, she completely fooled me in the first story. Didn't fool me in the second story, but I thought the performances were great. I mean, I was like, let's call it space. I was very attracted to one of them and not so much to the other one. So, I mean, that's got to count for something. Although,
yeah, that lace thing and the long sleeve.
I'm into the whole librarian thing.
It drove me mad. Like, this may be a weird reference, but every time it was her on screen, I kept expecting her to do like a John Lovitz from Saturday Night Live and go, acting.
The third one, I think she played great as sort of the meek and kind of beaten down. And, I do want to point out that it was very much a Chucky film before Chucky was ever a thing. It was proto Chucky. But I know we're focusing on the quote unquote hero or protagonist, and I'm just looking at her performances really. So I got a decent score for her. But yeah, only follow up questions. And you think when that Zuni doll went into the oven, do you think that smelled delicious? Anyway,
that's just burnt plastic, man. I think.
Yeah, a little cursed.
I agree with you. My scores are going to be largely on Karen Black, and I don't have that pedigree that Matt does on this type of thing. So I walked away from there like not knowing anything really about Karen Black and be like, I'd like to see some other stuff she's in. So, all right, let's roll it on over to VHS 94. And now we've got like 4 different stories with 4 different protagonists. 5 if you're with Matt and you want to include the whole SWAT team and all that stuff. I'm going to shut up. Matt, take it away. Do what you got to do, man.
When we look at VHS 94 for the hero, we joked earlier about the robots being the heroes.
Mm-hmm.
But if you look at the subject, you got an evil scientist.
Mm-hmm.
We have robots fighting back against him and trying to save the one SWAT team member that wasn't there to just execute everything. So I'd say we've got a pretty good hero there.
Fair point.
In Holy Hell, we have some protagonists going in to free the cult initially. Maybe not. Empty Wake, you don't really have much of a protagonist there except for the girl on the phone, but she did a really good job laying up the fear, the nerves, what's going on, and then you get the random stranger coming in and she's like, you know this person? And has no clue what's going on there, but is freaking out a lot with what's going on. Storm Drain, you have the fantastic newscaster who is doing everything to save her butt. Everything she can. Don't kill me. I'll do a news story on you, please. Please don't sacrifice me to Raatma.
Right.
And then for the Terror, we don't really have so much a hero, but you have who they've been holding hostage, who really gets his comeuppance on the people who have been doing wrong to him.
Yep.
I'd say pretty good hero protagonist moment for someone you didn't expect anything from.
That's a fair point. And yeah, I guess I kind of did expect, like, I don't know, man, if you're holding the vampire as prisoner, you better have your stuff on lock. That's all I got to say.
Let's go goof around with him.
Yeah, go get drunk. It's not going to end well, man. Anyway, Jared, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, largely echo Matt. I think Matt did a really good job of laying out like who was really heroes and who was not. And yeah, that last one is really the toughest one. He's got a bunch of like not likable dudes and a bloodthirsty vampire. It's like, I don't know who you root for in that situation, man. Yeah, I guess you got to be team vampire on that one because the dudes were trying to blow up innocent people, so that's no good. But Lord only knows how many people that vampires killed, so it's like, I don't know. But yeah, it was fine. It was fine. I think ultimately, listeners, what you should take away with is if you want a story that kind of actually has a protagonist that you really do begin to root for, it's the robot one. That story. This is why it's my favorite story. But yeah, I don't have a ton more to add than that. You guys covered it real well.
Well, let's score them then. All right, Jared, what are you going to give the hero for Trilogy of Terror?
I'm going to give Karen Black a 7. I think she just showed a lot of range. So yeah, Karen, you get a 7 from me.
I'm going to bump it up to 8. And I'm going to tell you why, man. She showed a vast range of acting through those three stories. I get where you're coming from, Matt. I'm looking at it from the lens of somebody who's coming in clean off of this and not a horror person. And when she wrapped it up in that crouch with those teeth staring at the camera, jamming that knife into the floor, waiting to murder her mother when she walks through that door, spoiler alert, man, I got legit chills. I'm still feeling. So if she could do that to this jaded old 54-year-old man, that's an 8. Anyway, what are you giving the hero for VHS 94, Jared?
I'm going to call an audible here because on my score sheet, I put a 5 just because I thought, everybody, not a lot of heroes, everybody did fine. It wasn't the same actor showing us range to get that higher score like Karen Black, but I am so taken with the robot story. I'm going to give it a 6. I'm going to bump on my score sheet. I'm going with a 6. Audible 5 to 6 on Jared's score sheet. So 6 for me.
All right. Well, once again, I was a little bit higher. I gave them a 7. I think we had 4 unique stories with 4 different protagonists. Each one I thought did a great job. Like I said at the beginning, everything was well directed, well acted, well executed. You had different kind of feelings, like you're feeling trapped down in the sewers in the first story. You're feeling like, why is this woman even still staying at this funeral home? I would have been so fired. I would have been gone when that dude showed up.
You should have had a picture of like on the wall of just pictures of her. Copy. It's like employee of the month. Just bam, bam, bam.
I'd have been so gone. I'd have been fired. The subject, I think we all agree, that's the one where, it hit me in the feels. That scene where they're protecting each other, the human and the cyborg at the end was touching. in the middle of all that violence. And then the terror, probably kind of like you said, Jared, is kind of the weakest as far as not sure.
Who do I root for here?
Well, I mean, you're feeling sorry for at least I was, like, because he's getting shot in the head like every freaking night just so they can drain his blood and he reconstitutes. And that's just cruel. And you want that cruelty to end. But long-winded way to me saying 7, and I still need to pass it to Matt to see who's getting the sniper round. And I'm not so sure on this one. I'm not so sure which way Matt's going to land.
You know, again, it falls back to me where I needed a little variety. Trilogy of Terror, as fun as it was at times, I kept getting locked into, I'm seeing the same person. I'm seeing the same person. So for me, I've got to give it to VHS 94, just for the variety.
All right. So let it be written. So let it be done. And I'll pass it back to Jared.
All right, it's time for round 3.
You hang up on me again, I'll cut you like a fish.
Round 3 is the villain. Clearly, we're going to have to do the villainy in this because we have anthology. So kind of what your overall thoughts on the darker parts of the movie are. And we will go to Trilogy of Terror. Good luck, Jason.
Well, fortunately, there's only 3 stories. And Karen Black is actually both the hero and the villain in 2 of the 3, right? So
it's a lot to keep up with, that's for sure.
So yeah, so it's interesting. You got the twist where you find out that she's kind of like a cat toying with a mouse in the first story, which is pretty interesting. You have the dual personality in the second story, which has that psychological thriller vibe to it, which was all right, maybe not the best executed. And the third one, you've got the Cupid doll there, which was kind of like I see where Chucky was born. I thought that was really interesting to me. It's like, okay, that's cool. And the way that they did it, I thought was really, really cool. That little doll was just terrifying, man. And again, probably some nostalgia horror from my childhood being resurrected. But yeah, no, I really enjoyed the villains from Trilogy of Terror.
As did I. Matt, your thoughts?
Yeah, I would agree with you on probably 2 of the 3. Like the Millicent and Therese, I'm so flat on that one. There's really, to me, there's not villainy in that one. It's more tragedy.
Yeah, I think it's clear why the producers made it the second part.
Yeah.
Start strong, end strong.
Yeah, for sure. The villainy in Julie, the first one, is pretty good.
Pretty damn diabolical, isn't it?
Yeah, very twisted. And then when we get to the Zuni doll, it's just so relentless. It just will not stop, keeps going. It's going to get her. It's going to get her. At the end, he's not the hero anymore. He's the villain at that point.
Man, yeah. I tell you what, I keep raving about sort of that first story, but I legit, when I was at a certain part of that first story, I was like, I don't know if I want to watch the rest of this movie. This is disgusting. Like, like if you're equating rape to horror, I'm not in on it. I'm just not. Then I was like, oh, I see. Snookered. Anyways.
Well, yeah. And it's like, did you guys only watch it once or did you watch it twice?
Watch it once.
Watch it once.
It was funny. Like I watched it once. Like the first thing that happens in the movie is the college guy sitting there. Oh, look at that chick. Look at that one. I'd like to see her naked. Wonder what she looks like without her clothes. And I'm like, you guys are scumbags. But then watching it back the second time, she goes by and he's like, I wonder what she'd look like without her clothes on. That just popped into my head out of nowhere.
Yeah. Hey.
Was it her planning that in his head kind of thing?
Interesting.
Drawing him in. So yeah, I'm glad it went to a little bit of a different place as opposed to just sexual violence is horror, because it's horrific and it's just gross, and that doesn't need to be out in movies.
Yeah, that's why I never was on board with Last House on the Left. I was never on board with The Hills Have Eyes because of these. You know what I'm talking about, Matt. You've been there. Not my type of horror. It's just me.
I watch them once just to see like what's there, but I'm like, then I don't need to revisit this.
Yeah, exactly. I took a shower, a couple showers afterwards, 3-4 showers. Anyway, let's shift gears and not worry about those. I was pleasantly surprised that that's not necessarily what happened in Trilogy of Terror. But let's go to VHS 94, 2021. A lot of villainy there. Jason, you get the mic.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of villainy to choose from. I guess I'll go back into what I think is everybody's favorite here, the subject. I thought what was interesting there was during the course of the story when those police officers arrive to rescue the victims, you think they're the hero, and then they slowly turn into the villains, right? So it makes you kind of question your stance. You know, the leader of that group was like, "No, we got to just put that monstrosity out of misery." Well, that monstrosity is still alive and still has a soul and still feels. And then things escalate. Black and white gets blurred. And then in the end, when you have the two come together, you know, I just thought that was really good storytelling. Yeah, I think that's what I'll highlight on as far as the villainy in the story. There's villainy in the other ones too, and we can kind of get into it. But to me, that's the one that stood out.
Yeah, because it is so great, like you said. Like, I don't even necessarily disagree with the soldier guy. Like, this isn't life. This is,
I know.
And from his point of view, not knowing what we know, he's right. But it's so complicated is what makes it complicated makes for great stories, right? So anyway, Matt, what do you got?
Have you guys seen any of the VHS movies?
No, I didn't even know there were other VHS.
Apparently there's 123 of these,
until I started digging deep into this. So
there are not 123.
Okay, there's a few.
There's a few. But this one really picked back up when we think about villainy. There was always in like the first few, where were these tapes coming from? Was something going on? So this one had like the villainy of this cult potentially being the people behind all these tapes and this terror getting out there. To me, that was a cool little trend of villainy in general. They're like poisoning everyone who's watching these, everyone who's creating these.
Yeah, I did read that this one is a good tie together for longtime fans of the series that have been keeping it. Like, this one will mean more to people that have watched them all.
Yeah, because the guy who did the first few was supposed to direct this one, but then he pulled away to direct the new Hellraiser movie. But they kept his idea to kind of tie them in together.
Oh, so he had some different sites to show us.
Yes, he
did.
It's a
Hellraiser joke. Only Matt got it. Sorry.
But the villainy in this one, it definitely ratcheted up a few levels with like the horror feeling. It had the gritty feel. So the horror in the terror was the humans were the villainy. In the subject, it was the humans. So we can all be pretty nasty people at times.
Fair enough. No, I'm not going to fight you on that. That's for certain. So, yeah, let's score this tricky little category here, just like the hero one was, but just the overall villainy and the darkness, I guess, of each one. Jason, Trilogy of Terror, 1 to 10.
I gave that one an 8 as well, mostly because of the now I know where Chucky was inspired by, I think. And that ending with Karen Black, like that was one of the scariest things I've seen in a while. And I know Matt's like, what a wuss. But to me, that freaked me out. So
if horror's not your thing, that's fine. But that scene pops up on scariest horror movie moments all the time. So you're not alone in that.
Okay, cool. Now I feel a little vindicated. I mean, it scared me. It legit scared me. 8 for me.
All right, we're not far apart. I got a 7. So that 4 you're looking at is looking good right now, Matt. Let's switch gears to VHS 94. Jason, you like it better, worse, same? What do you got?
A little less, just because it didn't really carry those iconic moments that, you know, the father of Chucky and that Karen Black end scene. But I thought that there were some pretty freaky elements that kind of scared me. Some worked better than others, but you know, it was definitely better than average, so I'll give it a 7.
We're close again, but I had it at a 6, but yeah, pretty much same reasoning. I guess I was just in a grumpier mood. Matt, it's time for your candy corn, your sniper bullet, your bag of circus peanuts, which apparently only I like, but who you
I love me some circus peanuts.
Oh, all right, 2 for 2 on circus peanuts.
Well,
Matt, how do you feel about
you can spend You two can spend all the money you want on circus peanuts. I'm staying away from them.
All right, he's a big no on that. But what are you going to give the sniper bullet or the extra razor blade or whatever you want to call it for the villainy of these movies?
The villainy for me for VHS 94, just for the horror involved in all of them, goes to VHS 94.
And man, we might have a clean sweep. We'll have to find out. He's 3 for 3. And that is the end of round 3.
We all go a little mad sometimes.
All right, now it's time to get into the fun stuff. We're talking about the spectacle, all the things that make a scary movie, the set, the mood, the music, the shock value, the suspense. Jared, what do you think of the spectacle for Trilogy of Terror?
All right, we got made for TV. We got 1970s. We got not a huge budget, but they do manage to keep me engaged. One of the things we talk about in spectacle is, do you go to your phone? Didn't go to my phone. Didn't need to. Spoiler alert, didn't need to go to the phone on either one of these. They're very good, engaging films. Yeah, I thought it looked good. It looked 70s good. Again, I think that's maybe something in common with both these movies. I think they didn't have, tremendous budgets, but I think they both got a lot out of what they had. So, yeah, nothing super memorable as far as music goes. I think it was fine. Cinematography, fine. A lot of set work inside of buildings, so there's a lot of set work. But yeah, overall, as far as made for TV goes, good spectacle. The biggest compliment being, didn't feel like I need to play on my phone, stayed engaged.
Yeah, agree 100%. Some of it's a slow burn. It's just, I think, a little bit of that pace from those days. It's a little bit more psychological, where maybe the other one was a little more visceral. We'll get into that in a minute. Yeah, agree with you 100%. Matt, what are your thoughts?
This may sound like, I don't want to sound like a bad thing, because I do enjoy what I'm about to compare it to. And I've said it before already. It felt very Dark Shadows to me.
I consider that a compliment.
Yeah, I'm not mad about that.
Okay. A lot of people might, but Simmons did Dark Shadows too. So, but you definitely feel it. It feels like it's filmed the exact same way and everything. So while there's not really so much like over the top bombastic spectacle with it, there's definitely an atmosphere that kind of pulls you in and gets you engaged in where you are with these stories.
Well, Jared, what are your thoughts on spectacle for VHS 94?
This is very much a spectacle-driven movie. It has a lot of energy to it, especially the subject. It's a very high energy. Each one, I think, had an appropriate amount of energy. The only one where I felt like there was a low energy was the last one with the vampire bomb thing. I love the concept, but admittedly, it being the last one at the tail end of a late night where I literally ate 6 tacos at Taco Tuesday at Rodeos in Dothan, maybe I was just getting a little worn down. So, yeah, I feel like everything looked good. I think everything sounded good. I think they chose great classic camera angles and for the jump scares and the energy that they needed. And it all worked on me, even though I was like, it's one of those things like, I think a jump scare's coming. There it is. It got me. Damn it. Type of a deal. So I thought it was very effective. And I think it looks great. I love the concept. Matt shared with us earlier the trivia of how they made it VHS-y. My only complaint, which bugged me from the beginning, is when we started with the story that ties them all together, which looks almost the most VHS-y of them all because it has the wavy line, a lot of wavy lines on it. And so my only complaint was I would have done that in pan and scan. I wouldn't have done it, shot it in for the widescreen TV format. I was like, if you're doing VHS 94, pan and scan me because that's what I want, damn it. But
that's a good point.
That's a really good that point. One bugaboo. And I watched this with my 2 buddies, Jose and Randy, after Taco Tuesday. And within 2 minutes, I was like, I should have filmed this in pan and scan. They were both like, yeah, they should have filmed this in pan and scan. Other than that, though, wow, just great job on what didn't feel like a huge budget, but got a ton of mileage out of what they did. So, yeah, spoiler alert, this was probably going to win this round for me.
Yeah, I think for me, the strength of it is you have 4 horror films, but they do such a good job of just subtly being different enough. The first one has that down almost like The Descent type of a feel to it. The second one kind of had that creepy buildup. Third one, which was, I think, our favorite, was kind of that action, body mutilation action one. the fourth one was kind of wacky, wacky but fun in a way, and a little more visceral. I really got to give credit to the studio. Like I said, and apologies, because I kind of figured like, oh, these are just like going to be a bunch of hacks doing
Alan
movies.
Quartermain and the Temple of Skulls.
That's what I was thinking. That's exactly what I was thinking. I think I picked an Alan Quartermain and Temple of Skulls for horror films, and it was far from that. Okay, Matt, spectacle for VHS 94.
Yeah, it's a spectacle movie. It's a madhouse. Like you guys are saying, like you get the video game feel. You get all these different settings where you kind of go all out in some of them, and some of them it's like fully creepy, atmospheric. So the one thing I thought that was kind of interesting, this and Trilogy of Terror are a little similar in some of their making. And follow me on this one, I'm not fully insane. So when we look at Trilogy of Terror, each of the stories have like a really confined set, either like 1 or 2 rooms. If you look at each of the stories in VHS 94, each of them really only have like 1 or 2 rooms. So while in the 70s, we're looking at a made-for-TV movie, and it's probably tied to their budget, and they're not going to be all over the place. When VHS 94 was being made, it was being made during COVID, during the lockdowns where they had to stay in this area and this area. So similar type of setups, but for completely different reasons. And you can see like modern filmmaking versus like 70s filmmaking to see what they do with what setting they've got and additional spectacle tools.
Oh, that's a really good point. I guess I never put together that they were filming this during COVID, and that makes a ton of sense.
When the credits were rolling, like at the end of like each section where it's got their own things, they're like, and the COVID restrictions for this area and for this area and for this area. And it's like, oh yeah, that was this time frame.
Good points. All right. Well, now I think we got all the comments in, and it's time to score them up. Jared, what are you giving the spectacle for Trilogy of Terror?
Cut above a made-for-TV movie. Jason, I'm giving it a 6.
All right. I went a little higher again, gave it a 7. I think it's, like I said, it's a scalpel, but for me, it was entertaining. A couple cuts above a made-for-TV movie, and like you said, didn't get on my phone at all. What about spectacle for VHS 94?
A little more polished, a little more energetic, especially our favorite segment with the subject, which can help it score. I'm going to give it an 8. I think it might have been about a 6 or a 7, but that subject was full speed, baby, and it'll bump it up to an 8 for me.
Well, I stated a 7 for both of them. I thought, like I stated at the beginning, one was a scalpel, the other was a chainsaw. Yep. So we're just dancing around these scores here, but yeah, 7 for me. And I'm going to give it to Matt, and I think I know where this sniper bullet's going.
Yeah, it's going to VHS 94.
Yeah, I thought so.
if it would have just been all of Trilogy of Terror, even versus just the subject, that alone wins.
It's fair. It's fair.
If I would have put the subject in Trilogy of Terror, I would have had to give it to Trilogy of Terror. But it's part of VHS 94. So,
well, I think Amelia and the subject are about equal to me.
Different, but
different.
Yeah, same.
But
I could see that. I could see that.
But again, I'm pretty sure that I'm just tapping on some trauma that I'd repressed since childhood.
I'm telling you, it's weird because when I told Kathy this, she was like, she's terrified. Like, you guys have a shared thing here, man.
And I did not remember the first two. And I think if I was young, I probably wouldn't have understood what was going on. But when you got a creepy little doll sticking spears in this girl running around the house, I remember that. That sticks with again.
You understand that no matter how old you are.
Well, anyway, Jared, I'm going to pass this back to you, but I got to say, I'm really excited because I come up with some creative things, but I'll wait my turn and pass it to you.
Okay. Must be time for round 5.
They mostly come at night. Mostly.
Round 5 is the best action scene. We're basically going to pass it back to Jason. He's going to, we call it best action scene here, but it's kind of like best horror scene this time of year. So let's find out what Jason did. I'm really hoping he's picking maybe one moment from each of the story. I don't know. Jason goes rogue. Let's find out what he's done. Jason, let's start with Trilogy of Terror.
All right. Well, I kind of did what you kind of did at the beginning. I just broke them down into the 3 stories and just said, pick one and scored it. So with Trilogy of Terror, the first one was called Julie. So I called this one, and it's a joke probably only you and I are going to get. Jared.
See where this is going.
I said, take some of these damn cats.
That's what you've ever done. Oh, my goodness.
But only you and I are going to
Only you and I are going to. Awesome.
That's just for
Delvin might have laughed, possibly.
Yeah,
Baby
Pat probably will too. Yeah. All right. The second one is Millicent and Therese, or I'd say this is either multi-personality disorder or a woman with a mood swing. And is there a difference?
Jason's losing us listeners. We just lost all of our female, both of our female listeners.
I'm just going to stay on mute.
I'm just going to see if Laurel's still out there.
When you play this episode for Lissy, just skip that part, man. Skip
it. All right.
Then you dropped your phone. Oh, I skipped ahead. Oh, no.
And then the third one, Amelia, I just called that one Chucky's grandpa.
Yes. Yes. I like it. Is anyone here? Oh, wait, I think I know the answer to this. I was about to say, is anyone here not picking Chucky's grandpa? But someone is, isn't he?
Mm-hmm. I think somebody's tipped his hand earlier.
That's right, because I screwed us earlier. Matt, you're going with the first story, right? As your choice.
Well, maybe not for action because you're not ranking. This is like horror.
There's horror moments. Yeah, good point. Different lens.
Not ranking the stories overall.
Thank you for making me not feel so bad about screwing this earlier. You're right. It's a different lens. So which of these 3 is your favorite?
For just horror?
The horror moment. Yeah.
Yeah, for horror, definitely it's going to be the Zuni doll.
Yeah, me too.
Going after her.
Jason, you and Zuni doll in it?
3 for 3.
Yeah, you gotta do that. Okay, so we've all picked that. We'll come back and score it in a minute. Let's go to VHS 94. Can't wait for what Jason... Nothing's going to top take some of these guys.
I know. I knew you'd appreciate it. Okay, so the first one, Storm Drain, I called that one trying to hail Raatma, think of a pun, hail Raatma.
Think you worked in.
All right. The second one was Wake. I just called that one. I would have been fired. Like that old guy would have come around to try. I got the sense he was trying to resurrect that guy or something.
Didn't he? Am I not crazy or did he not lock her in?
He locked her in.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. I thought so.
Yeah.
Man, that was great. Yeah. That was kind of cool.
But soon as someone starts like chanting some strange thing next to a body, I'm easing towards the door.
As soon as it's 11 o'clock and nobody showed up, I'm out. Like he's not. Come back tomorrow.
I was about to say he's not going anywhere, but
yeah.
But
you know what's hard to beat as a zombie and a tornado?
Yeah, that's right. For a Sharknado.
Is that the next Sharknado? Zombnados?
I'm sorry. We got back to the show.
Okay, back to the show. The third one was the subject. I'm really proud of this one because I couldn't think of anything funny about it like all day. And then it came to me and I called it, did you try unplugging it and plugging it back in?
Bravo.
It just
done good.
All right.
That's one of the nice little touches on that one. Her little battery meter.
Yes.
In the corner.
No, it wasn't called battery. It was called battery life.
Oh,
life.
But still. Yes. Life. But it was great. Good touch.
So video gamey. I loved it.
The fourth one, Terror, I called that one Biscuits and Crazy.
Bravo.
Good job. All right. I like it all. Jason, which one are you going to pick? Yeah, I know. We all subject. Matt, you going to be contrary on this one too?
When it comes... Okay, no. The subject.
Okay.
The subject gets it. RoboCop meets Frankenstein's Army all day long, every day of the week.
Weird because it's the exact 2 movies I picked when I was with my buddies. I was like, this is like RoboCop and Frankenstein's Army. And my 2 buddies were like, what the hell is Frankenstein's Army? I was like, never, don't worry.
I picked Frankenstein's Army like several years ago.
Yeah.
I was so psyched when you guys did that one. I'm like, either you guys are going to love it or you're going to hate it.
Oh, it was great.
And you
went
dug
up
it.
against Vampirella. Is that right? I can't remember. Anyway, it was
I
fun.
did. Yeah, I think you did go up against Vampiro.
Anyways, let's score them. Jason, Zuni doll, 1 to 10.
8.
Oh, man, I had it as 7. There goes your 4, Matt. You can only possibly get a 3. Jason, subject.
8.
Match game number 3 at the buzzer. So close.
I still
Matt.
shot too high.
Oh, man. I was trying to get you to pick a 5. Yeah, who knew? Anyways, Matt, you have 1 more sniper bullet or a bottle of Raatma vomit, whatever you want to do.
I have lined it up, and the robot is taking it all the way to the end.
Oh, my gosh.
Clean sweep.
Clean sweep.
Clean sweep. And that is the end of round 5.
I just can't take no pleasure in killing.
I guess now it's time to do a little negative, a little subtraction, perhaps, when we go into the deduction round, where we can take up off the 10 points for whatever we think are low points of the movie. I'm going to tip my hand and just say I'm not taking anything off of either of these movies, but I'm wondering if Jared's got anything.
No, I'm good. No, we discussed it all. Nothing really bugaboo for me.
All right. Well, official scorers aren't taking anything off. Let's check in, though, with Matt. Any thoughts, any bugaboos about either of these movies you want to air out?
I already said the one thing that bugged me, and it's super nitpicky. As great as Karen Black was, I almost wish there would have been another actress, because I just focused on, hey, it's Karen Black again. Ooh, Karen Black's she's there for this one too. And it didn't let me get into the characters the way I wanted to.
Yeah.
Except for when she really ramped it up in the Zuni doll one, I didn't care that she was Karen Black. She was that person. She was Amelia in that instant.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I think, and obviously you're steeped in this a lot more than I am. You've probably seen this thing a handful of times, and I'm kind of coming into this cold, and I'm looking at just being impressed by her range of acting. And I see your point, because that at the end of that was probably the first time I didn't think oh, this is another good acting range of Karen Black. I'm like, this crazy lady is creeping me out right now.
That, ladies and gentlemen, is the end of our official rounds. All right, don't worry if you haven't been keeping up with the math at home, folks. We do that for you at Action Film Face Off. Checking in with Match Game. Only 3 match games this time. Looking at our sniper bullets or our candy corns or whatever you want to call them for this episode. Matt gave all 5 of his to VHS 94, which is going to be key, by the way, to this episode's outcome.
Trilogy of Terror got that dentine gum that the old lady at the end of the house.
Those little caramels that come in either the black or the orange wrapper, whatever the heck that is.
You got to get the orange wrapper ones. Those are the better ones.
I think it's the same inside either way.
They may be, but who knows?
All right, looking at the judges' scorecards, the winner of this episode of Horror Film Face Off with a score of 76 to 72, VHS 94.
Wow. Well, congratulations to VHS 94. Now let's get back to Action Film Face Off and head over to the randomizer and find out what the years are going to be for our next episode. My brother Jared will be pulling a film from
Choose Your Destiny.
1984. You lucky son of a beep. And I will bring a film from
Choose Your Destiny.
2003. Why do I have the feeling that my brother switched the randomizer results?
I did not change the randomizer. And there's plenty of good stuff in 03.
There is. And what will those films be? Well, we'll tease them on social media for those of you who want to watch before listening. And we know you always like to do that, Dave. Or you can tune in next episode and just find out. Enjoy the ride. Till then, I'm Jason Weasel Skull Albrecht. You can find me on social media at Jason Albrecht on Instagram.
And you can find me, Jared Albrecht, the Yard Sale Artist, a.k.a. Death Probe, at Yard Sale Artist, X, Facebook, Instagram, It's all at yard sale artists, or I might be at your local Spirit Halloween store. Matt.
If you want to track down me, I can be found over on Blue Sky as Serpy Matt, posting toy pictures every day with some spooky pictures this month.
Ooh. All right. Be sure to check out all the shows under the Longbox Crusade umbrella by subscribing to Longbox Crusade on your podcatcher of choice, or you can check us out on YouTube. Everything's posted over there. It's also posted at longboxcrusade.com. You got a question or a comment, you can do that by hitting us up on social media, which is Longbox Crusade on X, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. On X, we have an additional account. If you want to go more direct to us, it's at AFFO Podcast. And of course, you can leave us a voicemail at 707-532-5269. That is 707-532-LBOX.
Pick up the phone.
Nice. Scared me a little bit. I peed a little. All right, if you're wrapping up your Halloween with Action Film Face Off, we really appreciate you making us part of your holiday experience. And if you're, needing something to listen to because you're out of stuff to listen to, maybe you're at a Halloween party, we can't recommend enough Q106.5. Spin some 80s and 90s jams, y'all, and have a good time with that. Here's their promo.
Discover the legendary Q106.5 in your car, on your smart speaker, on your phone. Browse to Q1065.com. 80s, 90s. This is a radio station with a vibe. Download our app or listen online. Search at Q1065 Radio on social media. The Q is your favorite radio station. Discover Q106.5 and hear the 80s and 90s hits on the radio station with personality. Q106.5.
All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in. We really appreciate it. We love these holiday Halloween episodes. So thanks for spending it with us. And until next episode, keep your silver bullets handy
and your garlic fresh.
The intro and outro theme to this show and all of our Action Film Face-Off shows are done by musical genius Joe November. Check out his SoundCloud at JOSEFLIN99. You will not regret it.
Anyway, I'll shut up and we'll get to scoring these things. All right, Jared. Spectacle for Trilogy of Terror. The number is...
Do I not get to talk about the spectacle on this one?
Oh, no, you're done. No, I'm just kidding. Sorry, I forgot. I forgot we backed it up. And so that kind of took me out. I think it was the weakest. Oh, sorry, cat. Cat came in. Sorry. Charlie, get down. Get down. Get down.
Outtakes.
She's gonna blow him away.
You're supposed to let me finish it off.
And Jared, I want you to know that you are not a weirdo.
Jared, you are a weirdo.